Today's speaker, Elizabeth Quintanilla, is the chief gunslinger. I would love to see her do some of those cool tricks like they did in the 30s and 40s movies with marketing gunslingers. And her background is that she has consulted in a variety of areas. She's done online technologies and strategies, social business, marketing, both traditional and digital, product marketing, and demand generation. And her experience runs the gamut from aerospace, franchise, IT, software, and real estate. So this lady knows what she's talking about. And today we are fortunate to have her come speak to you guys about personal marketing. And the title of her topic is Never Stop Marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Elizabeth Quintanilla. Give her a big hand.
Thank you, Elizabeth. So my name's Elizabeth Quintanilla. I was here in where you were sitting in 2009. I was one of those people who I just made that career change after that MBA to IBM, and then all of a sudden 18 months later, you're going, what am I going to do next? And really what I found out was I'm a better 1099 than a W-2. And so, but it was actually a lot of people in this group. So when you're talking about the variety of experiences, there are a couple of things that you can talk about and do. But the most important thing I'm actually going to say is find out what you're passionate about and do more of that. So if you hadn't thought about this, it's like we're going to talk about a lot of different things today on this Never Stop Marketing. But the first thing I want to leave you as a brain tattoo is, what is your passion? What makes you get up in the morning? You know, it's not just about making sure that your bank account is not negative $500 because you had to make a car payment. It's actually about what it is that you want to get up and do. Because if you realize that, do we need to retire if we like what we do? No. You get to, actually, I was talking with somebody who was like, you'd hang around enough real estate people and they got lucky buying their houses in the 80s, let me tell you. Yep. So they were like going, it's like, yeah, but we don't want to quit. What are we going to do? We just want to keep doing something. So if you follow your passion, then actually you realize you're going to be the best person and you're going to find ways. Because can you do treasury for a software company? Can you do treasury for oil and gas?
Sure.
Can you do treasury for a nonprofit?
Yep.
Do you get my point, guys? Can I do marketing for real estate? Can I do marketing for an app company? Can I do marketing for this? Find out what you're good at and do more of it. And the beauty about Never Stop Marketing is now, when you come in, this is the greatest exercise in the world. I get to talk about my passion. Hi, Brian. Nice to meet you. What is it? Can I tell you a little bit about what I do? I like helping businesses grow. Do you want to know how I do that? I do that through marketing. Yes! Can I tell you about some of the coolest things that are happening in marketing right now? Awesome! Okay, let me go to Tyrone. Hi. So, I'm here at this job club. So are you. Yeah, I worked at IBM. I'm looking for my next job. Kind of a wee bit of a difference. So, we're going to kind of somebody else take track of numbers here because I'm going to just start blurting things out. But maybe the first thing we think about is talk about our passion and figure out how to make it engaging to people. Do you want to know the number one way of making a room bright up? And you guys all have the ability to do it. In fact, you, ma'am, are the best at it so far when I'm looking at the audience. You just smiled. You smiled. I mean, let's go back and do this again. Hi, Brian.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you. All right. Now let's go to Tyrone. I know, it's hard for me not to smile, but hi, Tyrone. I'm here because they make me, so otherwise I can't get it. So, before we go all crazy digital strategies, everything, everywhere you go, you are networking. I don't care if you're just posting a picture on Instagram. Let me tell you, as a marketer, it's not just about that picture about Instagram. It's about creating that personal story that connects to people through a series of pictures or tweets or posts on Instagram. You're telling your story. And we are all, at certain points in time, job seekers. I'm always seeking my next 1099 contract. You just never stop not working, even though I'm on a 1099 contract right now. But you always make sure that you smile. You tell people. You find a way to be the most positive self to push yourself forward. How many of us woke up this morning with a little bit slight negative attitude? Come on, let's be honest. Yes, we got an honest person in the back. High five! Yes! But guess what? What is a frown upside down? It's a smile. So when you're out there, or when you're posting on your social media posts, smile. Okay? That's the rule number one. Because you got to push the door open forward. And I will tell you right now, this latest contract that I'm on for the 1099 contract, I realize as a W-2, my kind of ceiling gets capped at, whatever IBM told me what I was rates, that was all I was going to get worth. And so, but I can tell you right now that this nice little 1099 contract, I'm making about 3/4 of what I made in one contract as I made at IBM currently. Now I get to supplement it with other cool things that I get to do. Like I get to help somebody publish a book in the Kickstarter campaign. And you figure out these other little things to add on. But I'm not telling you guys to go out and do this. Yes, you have to decide for yourself. But what you realize is like, okay, the world is not that bad. But I'm going to tell you, I got this because, hey, what are you doing this weekend, Brian? Aw, don't you want to have some fun somewhere? Do you guys have a hiking club or something? Oh, well, what do you do for fun? Okay, let's go back over here. Okay, Tyrone. So, hey, you look like you have a lot of fun on the weekend. So what are you going to do this weekend? Well, I'm going to go to a bar too, but there's a big difference between East Austin, then you got Dirty Six, and then you got the other part of 6th Street. Come on, are you going to go to 6th Street or are you going to go out to the lake? Exactly! Gorgeous sunsets, and they have a DJ out there at Ernie's. Ernie's is the new Carlos and Charlie's. It's a lot of fun. But it wasn't really about going to the bar. It's about meeting the people and talking to develop a rapport. Because I can tell you, some of my best contracts are not from my sister, my cousin, my neighbor, or maybe even the last job I just did. It's actually those loose connections. So when I say the loose connection is, would we necessarily invite to a barbecue a friend of a friend who I worked with 2 jobs ago? No. But did that friend of a friend who I worked with 2 jobs ago maybe gave me this kick-ass lead where I could interview to be treasury of this 30-year-old CEO app company? You have no problems working with millennials who are starting apps, right? Do you think that software developer can do treasury? Do you think they can do marketing either? No. But they need us. And it's like going, oh yeah, I talked to that guy and I need to put some name on that PowerPoint pitch deck that was somebody who's smart, who has lots of treasury experience. You're the girl. You're the gal. Come on. You got to let people know. And so actually, I'm part of the Austin Yacht Club. Now, do you think I'm a paid member of the Yacht Club? But they need me for sailing because I'm actually good at it, apparently. And so I like to hang out with all those people. And they're going, wait a minute. You know what? I like all your sailing pictures you do on social media. Hey, I'm always out there having a good time, right? Isn't sailing fun? You get to be out in nature, pretty pictures of boats. And what do people do with pretty pictures of boats? The same thing they do with kittens and dogs and puppies. They hit the like button. So more people get to see it. But the cool thing is, once I realized that, it's like, wait a minute, you post some really good pictures and you're really good at social media. I need some marketing help. Believe me, I hadn't, I have to laugh out there because I'm going marketing, posting on social media on a regular basis leads me to marketing work. Well, okay, let's go. I'll go run with this. This is fun. So let's see what else I can do on social media besides posting just what I can do for fun. How many of you wish your daughter, cousin, sister, aunt a happy birthday when it's their birthday? Everybody in this room, hopefully? How many of you guys go on Facebook every day and wish somebody a happy birthday? Every day. What do we call that? We call that digital networking. No. It's only stalking if you're going only on your ex-girlfriends. Or the people you have a crush on. You're going, he's so hot and cute. I wish, how do I get to know him better?
That's your future exes.
What?
Your future exes.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, you stalk your future exes as well. No. Because guess what is the beauty of Facebook? You register, you tell them, they tell you their birthdays. They may not tell you the year, but at least they'll tell you the date of what they're willing to tell Facebook. Sometimes people are off by a day or two just so they won't actually publish their birthday, but hey, at least I'm giving you a happy birthday in your birthday week, right? So it's a way of staying in touch. How do you communicate on a regular basis with people? How are you consistent? How many of us have done sales? Come on. I did it in high school. A lot of sales is about consistency and follow-up, creating the number of leads. Now, when we're talking in networking and marketing, we're going, I got to let my people know that I'm job searching, and I also got to let people know what I'm looking for. And so maybe I can say, oh, I checked into Launchpad Job Club today. I got to meet a very good Indeed rep. I feel a lot better about my job search. Is anybody going to be mad at you for saying what you're actually going through right now? No. You're going, you had a great time, you learned some valuable information, and I met a great person in Indeed, feeling good about my job search. And then the rest of the time you're wishing everybody a happy birthday. They all know. And so the more people who know what you're actually going through may be willing to open the doors for you, especially if your number one thing in marketing, got to be likable. I'm sorry. I'm about the positivity marketing, so I will give you the couple of the key truths in marketing. People have got to, number one, know you. So you have to be known in marketing, so you must be networking. You must be putting yourself out there enough to be consistently there. Networking doesn't mean just job clubs. How many of us go to church? Does your choir know that you're job seeking? If you're part of the church choir. If we belong to a hiking club, I am there for 2 hours walking with people. At the end of that 2 hours, I need to make sure that they know that I am actually searching for a new job. Does it make sense, guys? And after those 2 hours of hiking with people, I am adding them to LinkedIn. And if I feel so inclined to share personal stuff, Facebook. If it's a hiking club, yes. If it's a high-tech happy hour, probably not Facebook, just only LinkedIn. But the beauty about LinkedIn also is it also tells you when other people's birthdays are or job changes. How many of us have a smartphone in this room? Or actually, I should rephrase it. Yay! How many of us don't have a smartphone? Okay, well, if you don't have a smartphone, please ignore the next 2 minutes. Okay, if you do have a smartphone, please download both the Facebook app and the LinkedIn app. There's the beauty about the LinkedIn app. It tells you when people have their birthdays. It even pre-populates your little LinkedIn message to say, happy birthday. Congratulations on that job change. Is it creepy to send them a message and let people know that you're thinking of them? Maybe if you're in IT security. But once you get that IT security six-figure job, donate to the Launchpad Job Club, please.
Oh, I like her.
Hey, those IT security engineers make a lot of money. They can donate back, especially if you get them that job. Hey, but I'm going, yes, you have to make sure you're known. A way of staying known is how do you stay top of mind? Your job right now is to find the next job. It's to meet as many people as there and build credible skills along the way. Volunteering. I did a lot of volunteering in 2009. Oh my God. It was a lot of volunteering, but I got known really well and people could see that I had the job skills. Because it's a very different environment working with an app company and a small company versus an IBM. They had to know that I can do something with barbed wire and duct tape, because IBM has resources. App companies don't. Just saying. It's true. You got to be mindful. So, number one, known. Number two, I touched on it earlier, we smile because smiling makes us more likable. People want to work with people they like. How many of us left intentional jobs or changed jobs because we didn't like the people we worked with? Glad I'm not the only one here. I have somebody else laughing. You know, it's like, oh, this is a wonderful job. I just don't look forward to coming here every morning. Yeah. So I need a job where I can come to work every morning with a smile, because that's one of my job requirements. How can I be the best, most creative, talented marketer for you if I don't like coming to work? I'm a creative type. Sorry. I need to have my environment. So making sure that I am in an environment where I'm allowed to be the most likable person of me that I can be is important. So, but when you're out there job searching, making sure that you're likable. Couple of quick ways to being likable. Smiling, obviously. Body language. Am I likable if I did this whole talk like, dude, I'm the Don? No. Wait, how many of you are looking at your body languages in interviews and going, I don't know about this. You seem kind of weird. One of my best bosses actually had a mullet. I had to be a little more open-minded. I'm going, we're 2017. I thought the mullets were gone by the 80s. No. But was it a lot of fun that I was able to get a good reference for? Yes! So, but making sure you look at your body language, being open, being smiling. Hey, you'll have to say there was something to said about my grandma in yoga. Pretend you have those books on your head and frame. Open. Keeping yourself language, showing engagement. I did a little bit of improv. If you can't tell by now, I love public speaking, so I did a little bit of improv training. There was one great exercise I still use to this day. You want to know what it was? So, at the end of every sentence, because you ended it in yes, which meant the letter S, I had to begin with my sentence with the word so, because it potentially means that I listened to you. Aha! How many of us like to, I'm one of those bad people, speak for 50 minutes. And how much did you get to speak in that 50 minutes, Brian? 2. Okay, so at the end of this, I'm going, oh, we had such a great interview. Did we have such a great interview, Brian, if you only spoke for 2 minutes? Maybe. Maybe if you were interviewing me for sales, but if I was an IT, if this was an IT engine, no. Yeah, so showing engagement. You have to actively listen to people. People can tell when they're not being listened to, you know. So that's just a fun little game to improve your listening skills. So, yeah, suddenly you're a rock star in interviews. So, Toastmasters is also a great place to go network. I actually came from Toastmasters this morning, and that and War Connor, phenomenal, really helpful. Also, it boosts your confidence. Most of you will probably not be coming in and getting public speaking gigs, but you will have to give a presentation to your small group. Defend an idea. You spoke about project management in the past, in the back there. Do project managers have to defend their timeline and budget?
Sure.
Is that a speaking gig where you need to have confidence? So, you know, part of building your likability is showing and displaying confidence. Some easy confidence building skills: the smiling, the active listening, standing up straight. Don't know why, but slouching makes you doesn't seem to be confident. Just saying. But finding the things where you feel like when you add value to the conversation. So these little tricks. I add value to an organization by helping businesses grow through marketing. Madam, you're back there. I forgot your name already. I'm just going to read it. I can't read that sign. Yeah. Oh, you're an Elizabeth too. So Elizabeth, my peer here, adds value to organizations to make sure cash flow needs are met every month. Because nobody wants to work for a company where their paycheck bounces. Hence, you better call on Elizabeth. She knows what she's doing to make sure your paycheck doesn't bounce. Is that a good little elevator speech for you? Yes. Everybody all of a sudden knows what treasury is. So they got to know you, they got to like you, they trust you. Do you trust Elizabeth now more in her skills at the understanding of treasury? Does her job matter to you? Making sure, wouldn't you want to work with Elizabeth knowing that her core value is making sure that the cash flows are met, and so that everybody who works there has the confidence and security that your paycheck isn't bouncing? Do you trust that company who's smart enough to hire Elizabeth is, maybe a trustworthy company for you? Do you now trust Elizabeth?
No. Not anymore.
So those are the simple KLTs of marketing. But again, we go back. So how do we make sure that people know you? How many of us really are going to be just starting a blog? Probably not. But how many of us can start a meetup group? Anybody can start a meetup group. How many of us have interests? Exactly. How many of us read books? Yes. How many of us go to Starbucks or a coffee shop? Yay! So, you're getting your name out there without blogging. You're starting a meetup group based on your book club. And guess what? I'm between my job searches and interviews, and I just need to chillax for 15 minutes and read a book. No, I am using that by saying, we are meeting for this half hour. I am dedicating an hour every week and posting it on Meetup and saying, this is the book that we're going to talk about. Come join us. And it gets her picture, her name, and all of a sudden she's looking at this going, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I can talk about all these leadership books I've been reading in the MBA program. It makes me an expert, right? If I know about 10% more than somebody else, maybe I'm a little bit of an expert, at least a facilitator. But did it save her a lot of time and agony about writing those book reports on she should be writing the blogging and the book reports and about HR strategies. But it's one thing to blog and drive traffic to the website. Right now you need to be in front of people. Being on Meetup and being a Meetup host and hosting events puts you in front of people, because that's the whole point of Meetup. And if you don't want to do it, go join some meetups. Go be active within the meetup groups. Not everybody has to be the leader as a group. we actually also need really good participants. Because as every good leader knows, they want to go on vacation. I just heard your leaders of this group are hiking. But they must be rock star leaders to leave them in capable, competent hands to know that this group is not going to die while they're hiking. So get to know those meetup organizers, and maybe you can help them. And all of those meetup organizers know other people. And you're going to Starbucks anyway to read a book. So might as well join book club. All right, I put myself on a timer here just to make sure that I don't ramble. Oh, awesome. Okay, so we have covered some of the digital marketing strategies. So making sure that you're saying hi to Facebook every day, reaching out who are your people out there, and using LinkedIn to reach out daily. Sharing the stuff that you know. Now, you're in the Launchpad Job Club LinkedIn group. There are other LinkedIn groups there too, because as a good digital marketer, we have to always create content and content marketing. The other part of that content marketing is we really need you guys to share our information. And how is the best way to share information and make yourselves look smart? You get to curate that information and put it in the relevant LinkedIn groups. Yes! I'm right now working with like an IT company, and so they sell stuff to mainframe developers. I am relearning about IBM Z series right now. I am not a programmer for IBM Z series. However, I can curate some good relevant technical articles on behalf of that company to post as that company in those IBM Z server groups. I'm a marketer. I am not an expert in treasury. In fact, I am so grateful for QuickBooks to help manage my life. However, I want to make sure that if I was in treasury, I'd be talking about treasury best practices, cash flow management best practices. Heck, sometimes all of us like to have a saver deal, so how do I make sure that I get everything off of oldnavy.com for 50% off or more? Hey, at least I make you laugh. You are not coming in to laugh out as much as I'm going. Come on, go ahead. Give you a good belly chuckle. That's another way of staying positive, by the way. You know, you're going in 2009, I was so depressed. I don't know what's going to go on. I'm so stressed out because that was my life. I had this MBA from UT. What do you mean I don't have a job? I'm not 15. I can't fold clothing anymore. I'm not going to go. Sorry. But you have to realize being positive in the face of adversity. Here's a funny little story I'm going to share that, you know, with you guys. It was actually given to me by a mentor friend of mine. So, you're out in the wilderness. You're finding yourselves along these Great Plains. You're thinking you're taking a pretty picture. Then all of a sudden you hear a heck of a lot of noise behind you. Oh my God. Have you ever seen wild feral hogs? They are chasing you. What do you do when wild feral hogs come at you? You run. All of a sudden you're finding that Great Plains. Oh my God, there's that cliff. Oh, I'm stuck. Do I jump off this cliff? Oh no. There are a bunch of man-eating alligators at the bottom. There's feral hogs. What do I do? I found a vine. I am going off that cliff and hanging out the vine because those feral hogs, once they start running, they're just going to jump off. And guess what the alligators just had? A lot of bacon. And then afterwards, I climb back up on the cliff and I go, it wasn't all that bad. I survived and I got a funny story to say. And more importantly, that vine had a really good juicy strawberry, so I even had lunch. But that's really what this is right now. You're going, you wake up, you put on your happy face, you realize, what are the 4 things that I can do to make my life better? You make sure you get those 4 things done to move forward. And that's really what you do. That's part of the self-marketing. So how have I made my list? I reached out to these top 10 companies that I'm looking for. I've connected on LinkedIn with members or employees who are currently working at that company. Maybe I found the recruiter who's working at that company and ask him for a cup of coffee. Because what do we know, number one thing about recruiters?
They like coffee?
They know other people. If you haven't figured out my message right now about connecting with people, is people know people. And it's not necessarily your neighbor who's going to get you the next job, but it's maybe your neighbor's friend's friend. And it's just because they liked you. So how do I make myself available to meet my neighbor's friend's friends, to introduce them how likable I am, to co-work with them? So you invite people to a cup of coffee. Sometimes they're too busy for coffee. Respect their time. But say, you know what? I have Skype on my phone or FaceTime. Is there maybe a 10-minute window where we can talk face-to-face over FaceTime or Skype? Or, you know, if you really are in the car and I know you're driving from this meeting to that meeting and it takes you about 45 minutes to cross Austin at 5 o'clock, can I call you at 5 when you're driving from the Arboretum to go to High Tech Happy Hour downtown? And just have a little tete-a-tete. And then afterwards, can I say, oh, offer. Would you like me to give you a $2, well, maybe I should give you a $3 coupon to Starbucks? Most of the time I say, no, it's okay. You don't have to. But you got a chance to talk to them. You give them options so that you're out there. Know, like, trust, getting yourself out there, creating your list. There's a wonderful technique in inside sales, and which is part of marketing I sometimes have to do in the contracts, where I call it the ABC list. The A list are the people you keep in touch with on a regular basis to help you along the way. Then there's going to be some other people on your B list who you keep in touch on a regular basis, but maybe not so regular. Anybody below a C, don't waste your time. I'm just saying. It's just a matter of like, I know I am going to reach out to this person weekly or monthly, and that's my A's. Quarterly B's. Annually, hence they get their happy birthday message. I'm keeping in touch with my happy birthdays. They're at least a C. Anybody beyond that list, I don't have time to waste. So, therefore, I'm being proactive. It's not that I don't like you and I won't see you and I won't meet you for coffee if you reach out. I will definitely always reach out and respect other people's requests for coffee, or at least a phone call. But I need to be proactive in finding my next position. So you created your list and you have your 4 activities. So I have my A list, which I'm currently proactively reaching out list, maybe some of the B's. I'm reaching out and researching positions. Then I'm going off and connecting with those recruiters on LinkedIn and actively networking with people who work in those companies. I am making sure I attend at least a 1 name tag event a day. Hence the little name tag. It can be Toastmasters. It doesn't have to be that complicated. You have to wear name tags in my Toastmasters group. That counts. It does. But then, as my other thing is, I do a recap and I follow up with emails as well. Don't forget to say your please and thank yous. One of the rules that I always have for people is if they've gone a little bit out of their way, especially if they've done me a favor and they don't want a cup of coffee, you will be more remembered for a handwritten thank you note. In fact, I keep thank you notes and, more importantly, stamps in my car. Buy the forever stamps. Just buy the forever ones, because that way you buy a couple of sheets and you can always know in your home office where the extra stack is, and they'll still work.
Well, FedEx was virtual UPS anyway. They're called FedUp.
Darn it. As long as I get my online deliveries here. So I want to open the floor to questions because I have a lot of creative ideas. Yes.
So I just would kind of move in, if you're a contractor going into a culture where you're with engineers or people that don't want to be on Facebook, don't want to, I mean, a lot of it is about presenting yourself and being out there. Besides being positive and active, how do you manage not changing the culture, but when you go into that kind of environment, getting people on board with the marketing aspect? Or is that
Okay.
something-
Yeah. No. I'm happy to talk about that because I'm doing that right now.
Yeah.
So they know that I'm very proactive on Facebook, but I have to put the image of the company forward. And so I'm basically looking at the categories. So industry events. We're sharing industry-related events. It's always safe to share IBM published materials. IBM is a big content manager. We can reshare, repost IBM, CA Technologies, Dell Enterprise. And I put that on a recurring repeat basis through using Hootsuite. And in the middle of that, about 30% of the posts are driving people to the website, maybe the technical blog, on this little bitty widget on CA Technologies on an IBM Z server that somebody actually took the time to time to write. And then I can share that because you're right, most engineers are not going to go all the way out there. But when you're looking for your next engineering role, you need to position yourself as the expert who can program on the Z server mainframe. If you know COBOL, please put it out there. It's a search term. I know it sounds horrid to say that out there, but anything that can put you in there where people might be searching, make sure you include it in your profile somewhere. I was able to reprogram COBOL into Java. I'm making this up on the spot, by the way. It sounds plausible. Yes.
We had this long discussion on LinkedIn this week. A guy posted and was saying how we need to make your headline just phenomenal. But I've been told by multiple recruiters that your headline should state the positions that you want because that's how recruiters search for you. So there was this huge argument back and forth of whether it should be creative or whether it should be factual. What's your take on that?
I do both. Well, no, because you can be creative in what you're there because you're not currently product manager at. But you can say project management professional seeking new opportunities to build applications on time, on budget. Do you see how you threw that word in? It was still creative. And it also shows that you use the PMP terminology in there, so it might stick out a little better than project manager seeking new opportunity.
So you're not put out of work cat right.
Don't. No. But you can put cat whisperer, seeking sales.
For project manager, actually, Polycom has that in their job description for project manager, IT project manager.
Oh, really?
Well, you could say professional project manager, adequate at herding cats.
Yeah.
I mean, you can.
I would drop the word adequate because that only makes you look,
That's adequate.
yeah,
Phenomenal.
at herding cats. Exactly. Proficient, just you have to put your best foot forward.
You can't be proficient, you have to be exemplary. I mean,
Adept.
Adept is good. Adept is fine. It's also short in case you have character limitations. Yeah. Do we have some more? I can always bring you more ideas. Okay.
What about Facebook? She was supposed to be the
With Facebook and LinkedIn and all your other kinds of social media, if you're politically active, if you have things that you want to say about the current administration.
Don't.
Right.
The answer is don't. You pull yourself out of that chain. It's not worth it.
I think that's where I don't like different things, even if I approve of it or disapprove, because I just don't want it to go into the link.
Yeah. Just The answer is, remember, people don't, your wife might want to know your politics and religion, however, your best friend doesn't. And maybe your best friend's friend that you're trying to get a job through, definitely no. Yes.
I understand that recruiters and HR representatives are not necessarily supposed to look at Facebook profiles and Twitter and LinkedIn. I know. So my point is, if you want to not hide or mislead based on something you may have posted politically, since I don't know Facebook well enough, I'll be honest, even though I've been on it since 2005.
I wrote a note.
Well, no, my point was, is there a way to like maybe put more stuff in your feed to push that stuff down?
Yeah, you can, and that's where you're being professionally proactive, maybe sharing links, industry links, or you're going, here's my time at the, hiking with my puppy, having all of those photos come up so that they don't find it as easily. But actually, if you go back, in my Facebook history, I wrote a note saying at one point in time I was critiquing some politics like marketing campaigns, and that was, okay, yeah, I got, served on a platter. But then I wrote that note about it, and I said, it's like Lady Gaga in her meat dress. I was just looking at it like this and trying to go dissect this, but I will in the future no longer dissect political campaigns as a marketing review. Those, I just won't put, But yeah, post a lot of photos, push them out there, push things down, put a lot of links, use the scheduling tool to make sure that that's out there consistently. Change the permissions on as many posts as you can that are of that type. Yeah.
So one thing, as I was doing my job search is to go back to my Facebook profile, look at it in a public view, find out, what's out there, what's the thing. But one thing to keep in mind is your actual profile picture is always public. If you change that, it's always public. So if you're posting a picture of you putting down like a bottle of tequila,
That's there forever. Yeah, don't ever on your profiles. But also I would say public view, but also friends of friends view, because you want to see both. Yes.
You said on LinkedIn to do the happy birthday, and I have just been totally against it because I'm tired of LinkedIn being like Facebook, where people go, can you add up these numbers? How fast can you do that? I have Facebook for that sort of stuff, and I have LinkedIn for professionals, but you're saying go ahead and do the happy birthday.
Go ahead and do the happy birthdays because you got to stay in touch. It's ET phone home. Got to keep on calling, to keep on dialing, got to keep on pushing the wheel forward. And you never know if that happy birthday can lead into a longer conversation just randomly to help you with your next job search. But it's not just the happy birthdays, it's the congratulations as well. They'll give you
I
both.
always do the congratulations on the new job, the life, that sort of stuff. I've had a lot of people contact me back on that, but I've just been real reticent to do the happy birthday because it's like, really?
It gives you an opportunity to touch that C-level connection once a year. Just remember that person is a C at a minimum. Keep in touch once a year. And everybody smiles when they get it. Oh, yay! I got Elizabeth wished me a happy birthday. I feel better now. I feel acknowledged as a human being. Thank you, LinkedIn, for helping me make sure Elizabeth said Yeah. Well, I had this website up, so I was just going to scroll through this really fast to see if there was anything that I missed that I wanted to cover today. Understanding your environment, dressing for success, I think you've heard other people speak on those things. But most importantly, I would say show your interest when you're meeting people and networking with others. Definitely, it's not just about you, show interest in them. Because everybody can add value somehow. And while you're actively networking, maybe you can introduce a fellow peer from this group into that position. And then they bring you in. Finding a way to give sincere compliments to people is always a good way of expressing like you're at least, more than just acknowledging them. Finding a way to be sincere is like, that was a very valuable point. I really appreciated that. Yeah.
Sincere and everything, like, that's a nice Michael that far.
Maybe not that far, but I'm like going, I can say sincerity is like, you know what? I would have never thought to put that color of blue with that dress. That's a great combination. And it allows me to stay a minimalist in my closet. Yes, I don't have to buy a dress for every pair of shoes. But it's a sincere compliment. She looks sharp. You're welcome. Another way of making sure that people know that you were actively listening is sometimes spelling it out. Oh, that was a good point. Can I take a moment to write this down?